Hi and welcome to part 3 of the Blitzkrieg German build that we're doing. And today, well, a bit of flavour really. But before we get into that, a huge thank you to Keith Massey of the Enigmatic Gamers channel. I want to check him out. I'll leave a link to Keith's channel below. Thank you for the kind support and words that you've shown in his last videos, Keith. We really do appreciate it. And to be fair, Keith, it was actually seeing your French that you've done actually inspired us to kickstart us getting this campaign up together and start doing the German force. So really hats off to you, mate. So thank you very much for the kind support you've shown us. Again, I'll leave a link to Keith's channel below. So what is today's video? Part 3? Well, more goodies, the support options available to the German force that the players will be able to have. Now all of these are Warlord games apart from some of the crew. I bought a couple of extra packs from Crusader Miniatures. If you know, sort of Bolt Action uses normally sort of 3 or 4 is the average, I think, crew for their guns and support weapons, whereas Chain of Command, uses sort of 5 men plus maybe sometimes a junior leader, so 6 guys on the gun itself. So adding extra sort of crew figures to the Warlord packets that you can get, Crusader I found actually do fit in quite nicely, and I'll show you those in a second. So without further ado, about me rambling on again, so I'll spin the camera around and we'll now take a look. So first up, guys, here we have the MG34 Medium machine gun team. This is a part of the Warlord Games Blitzkrieg German range, and was part of their support pack that they do with the 80mm mortar, the command group, as say the machine gun, etc., and the sergeants and everything else, and the medic. This is, I think, there's a couple of, actually there's one Crusader Miniatures figure on here, and I'll show you as he comes round. Again, I think that he fits in really well, and you'll see that. I'll tell you what it is this guy here, and he fits in really well with the Warlord plastic figures and metal figures. This is a plastic figure from the plastics and that they do for the Blitzkrieg Germans, and obviously it's a metal crew and gun for the machine gun and that team. And I say the Crusader Miniatures is metal. We bought, as I said before, 2 packs of those to add in to obviously increase the gun crew. And let's just spin them up so you can see them. Just to make the numbers up and that on the base, not to sort of just add in normal infantry figures. So yeah, here we go. The machine gun team again painted up. These guys obviously with their white epaulets and their collar markings, and their helmet again got their distinctive sort of hair markings as well. Transfers, they were, like I said in the previous video, I couldn't see them, so I didn't know how to do those. I would have said I would have ended up launching them. My patience isn't that strong for things like that. But she's done a fantastic job painting those up. Like I said, this is the Crusader Miniatures crewman coming around with the binoculars, and I think he sort of fits in quite well. The theme of the basin, as I said before, the bricks and that on the basin, is the Germans coming through the sort of the French farming plains of the farming community, coming through, blitzing through from sort of Sedan and sort of through the Ardennes and area that into France, and then obviously through from Belgium, taking over the British positions and that. And that's just the bricks are just there to give it a little bit of flavour and representing those sort of farm buildings and that have been knocked down, destroyed along with the fighting along the way. So there we have it, that's the first group done. So next up we have the classic German 7.5cm light infantry howitzer. A weapon that was really iconic for this part of the war, and also served throughout the whole of the Second World War in German formations. You'll notice in there that obviously has, like I said before, Chain of Command uses more crew for its guns and its support support weapons, and you'll notice in here that obviously I've got a Crusader Miniatures gun crew figure here, and there's one over the back there, and then this is a plastic figure made up, sort of extra bit of an infantryman sort of been drafted into this formation just to help out, and obviously he's actually changed his uniform jacket. He's got obviously the red piping on the collars and that there, like all the rest of them have, and obviously on their epaulets and on their collars and that have all been sort of designated with the artillery markings and that. The red, you'll notice nicely on the shoulder epaulets and that are over accentuated. Again, like with the infantry that we've done, we over-accentuated those slightly, because again, you wouldn't see it 3 foot away when you're playing and that, but again, it's just a nice little novelty thing, sort of look down at the table and you can see that that's what it is. I'll just spin them up for you and have a good look around. There's the switch. So, as I said, the Crusader miniature coming round first here. Nice figure. They do fit in really well. I was actually surprised. I thought the Crusader miniatures were smaller and the Warlord figures were quite big. But then getting the pack of these and putting them together, I was quite impressed. And you'll see it on the gun actually. There's a couple of different figures on there that you normally get, and they do fit in superbly. The gun itself, painting wise, it was Vallejo German grey over a black undercoat. So that was heavily dry brushed over that, trying to keep some of the black in the deep recesses and everything else. And then to that Panzer German grey, sorry, added a little bit of cream. I mean, only a smidge, and mix that up, and then dry brush that over the top of that German grey. That will give you that sort of that blue tint, that warmer feel to it. Like I said many times before, I mean, I've read quite a bit about the German Panzer grey being all sorts of different shades and that. So again, I like the sort of the warmer look to it in that, instead of the cold, dark, near black look. Hence the reason why we've done it like this. And to that mix, again, this is where a wet palette comes in handy. Once you've got that, any washes you want to put it on at that stage, and then right at the end, just put a little bit of white or ivory, or off-white or something like that, or probably ivory or something like that. Just dab a little bit of that into that mix, and very, very faintly, just do the edges. Just pick out some of the high points. I mean, a little bit. You don't need much. And then that will sort of really, again, 3 foot away, that'll give you a nice contrast and that with the metal work and everything else, which is what we've gone for. Anything that we sort of paint and that is mainly meant to be viewed at the 3 foot away, because let's face it, that's where we sit to play our games. We sit back to play the games. We only lean forward over the table to move miniatures about, but we sit back to admire what our figures and our friends' figures, our mates' figures on the table. That's what it's all about. So again, there we have it. That's the 7.5 centimetre light infantry howitzer. I hope you enjoy this, guys, and we'll move on to the next one. So last of all on this video, guys, is the Pak 36 37mm anti-tank gun. Warlord Games miniature again, apart from a couple of guys on there which are on the gun itself, which are from Crusader Miniatures, as I mentioned about adding those in. And these two, the junior leader here and the guy with the grenade at the back, are from the Plastic Miniatures box set, and that just made up to add an extra few figures in. Because as I said before, the in chain of command, most guns, your support weapons you have on there are 5 crew, whether it be the machine gun, the guns, etc. It's only like the machine gun, the medium machine gun doesn't have a junior leader. You sort of mainly want to command him, and that either off your ones of your dice roll or your senior leaders. The support guns like the Pak 36 and the 75mm infantry howitzer have a junior leader with them, which can activate them more frequently, obviously with their command rolls. As a command dice of 3, as opposed to just a 1. So, you know, that gives them that little bit of extra flexibility that they can roll, use the command initiatives off the junior leader to sort of do bits and pieces and rally shock off. Nice model, bit fiddly sometimes. I find Warlord Games' guns to go together, so I've got into a little knack now is to sort of like glue sort of like the one of the trails on into the chassis, and then as that's dry, and I'll glue that to the base and then glue the other trail off of that, so I've at least got a firm base and structure to sort of adhere to and work with. Sometimes that doesn't always work, but I've sort of on these two particular guns it did work okay with that. Painting of the miniatures, as I said, exactly the same as I said before, is following the On Point HQ's not On Point HQ, Tabletop CP's Travis Heights painting recipe, which I'll leave a link description below. And the grey, again, following Panzer grey, following the same thing as what I did with the infantry gun, and which I am going to take forward. And Mel and I talked about it. We're going to take that sort of scheme forward into the vehicles. So there we have it then, guys. That's the Pak 36 37mm anti-tank gun. Obviously the bricks on the base sort of continuing that same theme. I'm itching to get this force on the table. I really am. You probably tell that with these videos I've been doing. But anyway, So that's it today, guys. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoy it. If you have, please leave a like and comment in below. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and hit the notification button. And until next time, guys, please stay safe, and I hope you get some games in. And until then, happy wargaming.